a lot of thoughts. Picture this. You either laid up at home, in the bed, early morning, alarm goes off, you gotta get ready for work. Or you're standing in the middle of your job right now that you can't stand, miserable, but your mind's somewhere completely different. You're thinking about your brand, you're thinking about the next move. What are you building? But you don't even know which direction to go yet. And you refuse to just follow whatever trend everybody else is chasing. That's how I've been. That's the ugly middle. If this sounds familiar, well, this is the episode for you. So, what is the ugly middle exactly? Let's break it down. It's not the beginning when you first get the idea and everything feels exciting and it's possible. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not the end when people are celebrating you and the work that you put in, the grind, the sweat, and the tears, it finally pays off. It's that space where everything in between is testing you. It's basically a breaking point. And that breaking point is really where you start to question and ask yourself that one specific question. How bad do you want this? Because that's where you find out quickly if you're chasing momentum or you got that discipline. Or what I like to call that dog in you. Momentum always feels good because everything's moving. It's exciting. You're coming up with a brand. You're coming up with a name. You have this. You see the big picture. It gets you going. But momentum can get you so far. It's really about that discipline. It's about that dog in you. That's where it shows up when nothing else is moving. And you still get up and do the work anyway. And that's the ugly middle. And the ugly middle will always make you face what you're willing to sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to get to that goal, that dream, that end point? Are you going to sacrifice your sleep, your time, your money, your comfort? Hell, are you even really willing to sacrifice your relationship? Because building something real is going to cost you something. It always does. And there's no way around it. One thing I always tell people when it comes to sacrificing, it don't matter what you believe in, whether it's the most high entity or the most low entity, or if you don't believe in no spiritual and you just all around law of the land type stuff, like whatever you put in, karma, that's the word I'm looking for. Karma, whatever you put in, you're going to get out type situation. So, and no matter what, you're going to get tested and see what you're willing to sacrifice to get what you want. But here's where it gets real. Because the ugly middle doesn't just cost you money or sleep. It costs you emotional too. I'm talking about the internal battles you're fighting with yourself every day. I'm not even present in my own relationship as I should be. It's not that because I don't care. It's because my mind is always somewhere else. Always building. Always problem solving. Always thinking about the next move. Then, all that creates its own guilt. And there's my daughter. Some days I'm not spending as much time with her as I want to. And that is different because all the things I'm doing right now is for her. I want to be around. I had parents that always worked and they're always tired. And as an adult, I appreciate what they did and the sacrifice they made to make sure I had a house to live in, food on the table, clothes and everything. But there's days that I wish they had the time to take me to baseball practice or come to a sporting event, something, or just be able to spend time with me. But I understand now as an adult, like, they were mentally exhausted and they needed some time to themselves. Or they had to hurry up and handle what they needed to handle because they have another day to conquer. On top of that, like, I want to put my baby in a good school. I want her to have the opportunities to be educated while still be able to be her. But I really say all this because I want to be that parent that's able to be at the events or when my baby needs me. I'm not sitting up here having debate. Do I go to work, make sure these bills are paid, or go to whatever event or wherever she needs me at that time in those situations? But right now, I not get that she doesn't understand that. She's still young. And that kind of plays with me too. Because right now, I'm mentally drained trying to build the thing that makes it all possible for her. And the scariest part is I've started to notice myself going numb. Like the stress has been on me constant for so long. I'm not even fully feeling it anymore. Like, and I don't know if that's a strength or if that's a warning sign. Probably look at that as both. My appearance has changed. A lot of people say I'm losing weight, but it goes back to what I said earlier. That's just the sacrifice I have to make. One thing about the ugly middle that I've always found annoying as I continue to trial and error to get to that goal, that dream, that feeling of success. To me, my definition of success is nobody talks about the ugly middle. A lot of people sell you the lies on the success and make you think success is an overnight thing because they don't talk about before they hit success, they got to go through the ugly middle. And one of the things that I'm going to throw out there that I'm pretty sure some people have seen it, heard it, or been through it themselves is people convince you that, as I mentioned, people convince you that success or you can do something easy. And then they make it sound like, hey, all you have to do is do this and boom, you'll be here. And you'll be able to attain whatever money and abundance of all this other stuff. And I'm not exempt from this because I'm speaking this from firsthand experience because I fell in that trap too. No one better, but it's still that what if optimistic point because I'm really a pessimistic type person. So for me to have that optimism, like maybe this can work, maybe this will open up a door for something else. And one of the things that came to my mind as I'm thinking about the ugly middle is back in the day when I was trying to find an out for the oil field, and somebody brought up an MLM. There's been plenty of them out there, so y'all know what they are. Now, the product that they would show was a good product, and I'm happy for them to show me that. And the products are, I'm just going to throw it out there real quick, is just IULs and annuities. Y'all probably need to go check those out. That's not what they're really focused on. Of course, as y'all know, MLMs is about signing people up and moving up the ranks. And when I saw that part to it, did get turned off, but I'm like, well, maybe I can go with the annuities, IULs. But I seen the heaviness on signing people up to move up. AKA, I see the bullshit from a mile away. I see how this is going to go. I see how this is going to turn out. But, my dumb ass still said, hey, let me just try this anyway. Maybe I can flip it, it works to my advantage. But as I mentioned before, I'm an introvert. I don't know if I mentioned this in a podcast or on one of my videos on my account, my social accounts. I'm an introvert, so trying to sell people is a daunting task. But I've overcome that fear because I've put myself in sales before. But the MLM persona is these people are pushy in a way that it really should be illegal. Like it's sickening what they do, how hard they push them, and all this other stuff. And I made a good point. I mean, MLMs are just like how you grow up the corporate ladder, just a quicker and way off way where the bottom feeder doesn't, or the bottom feeder, excuse me, the bottom person doesn't really get no money or nothing out of it. But realize that I'm not that type of person, or like I said, it's just a moral compass in me or something. And like I said, it just didn't make sense. It didn't work. Once I noticed the bullshit, I really should have just stayed in my lane because they made it seem like it's easy, but it wasn't easy, especially if you're not a people person. And you start thinking a little bit different about other things and like, why can't I get into this? Why can't I get into that? Or, you want to be close to that information. I don't know, I'm kind of everywhere with this, but it's more like, it wasn't different for me. And then when you look at other options that I've run into, you run into the gatekeepers. And nothing sucks more when you're in that rut and and you don't know where to really pivot, and you got somebody gatekeeping. For a while, I didn't like gatekeepers. I don't like gatekeepers, but at the same time, I respect gatekeepers. Now that I continue to grow and understand it, because honestly, let's be for real. If you are doing what you're doing right now, and you are in this ugly middle transition, why would you want somebody to just come into what you're doing with ease? If you put in the work, you put in the time, and then all these other people come in and saturate what you worked for, or what you put, or you stayed in your lane, and they saturate it, where it makes it harder for you to grow. Yes, that means you probably have to pivot somewhere else, because you know you can't be content with everything. But it's like, I get it though. You're trying to survive. But the ones that kill me the most, with the between the gatekeepers and those people who sell you something, is the ones who act like they got it all figured out. Those people who are actually in the middle, and they're smiling like everything's amazing and perfect. And that's how people sell you too, if you think about it. Like, nobody's that happy. You know, like, it's always a red flag when I see somebody too happy and showing me all teeth 24/7. And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying, if you ever been through anything in real life, you know that a smile can be a costume too. The ugly middle doesn't care how good your highlight reels look. Like, people want honesty, and they want to see that right now. Fast forward to my current life right now, and just talk about something. And I'm guilty of a lot of this right here. I never talk about my wins, because I don't count my wins, because I see it within myself, and I see it within a lot of other people. We focus on the numbers, the followers, the results we're waiting for, that we completely pass everything that we've done. I had to actually stop and think, doing this podcast, like, what can I say about that I've won? Like, I'm not. I'm just starting this podcast. I've done other things, I'm not getting the traction I want, but I had to stop and think real quick. Within the last few months, I finished building my workstation, and that means computer, monitor, and everything else. While still doing that, I paid my bills. I didn't go in debt building my workstation, creating an environment for me. I taught myself DaVinci. I'm not the best editor, but I'm doing it. And here's the thing that people don't really realize about me. If you go on my other socials, right, I'll put them down so you can go see for yourself. I really do like a 5-man job by myself with my sim seminar and all the other stuff that I put out on my socials. I write the scripts, directing, editing. I even do the voiceovers. I could have probably been done with my sim stuff, but the voiceovers and battling the Audacity software, that was tough. Trying to distinct the voices and stuff, but I stuck with it. I've posted for a month straight now. Still made time for the family. Not an abundance, but I still made time for them. I did all that alone. No team, no mentor, no blueprint. Just me figuring it out. And I had to stop myself and think about that real quick. Like, if a stranger came up to me right now and told me everything I just told you, I'd be like, damn, you doing the damn thing. And now, even with a recent event, one of my coworkers even said, when I was telling him stuff like, hey, stop being so hard on yourself. You tripping right now. You got a lot of positive traction, and you're finding your way. Don't throw this all away on stupid stuff. Don't let your emotions cloud your logic. But I say that to me because I was downplaying myself, because once again, that was me. I kept moving like it was nothing, like it's not the problem. And I feel like that's the problem we have. We disconnect our wins because they don't look like somebody else's highlight reels. But those wins are real, and those are yours. Just like I had to realize those are mine. And that's what the ugly middle makes you forget sometimes. before I end this podcast, I want you to understand something, because I know there's somebody out there listening, probably dealing with something like I'm dealing with, or if not even worse, or they're starting something. I want you to listen to me real quick, because I'm gonna tell you like this: like, I don't have everything figured out. None of to my standards, a lot of things I put out are not even perfect. you know, but I told myself, if you're gonna do this, do it. Figure it out as you go, because you're making traction and you're doing something, and you can see results, and eventually it all click for you, and you come up with a routine. Speaking to somebody, I know that. I just know. I feel it in my heart and my soul about that. I'm speaking to somebody, and I know somebody needs to hear this, because there's been times when I come up, I need to hear a message too. You're one bad day away from walking away from all of this, your dreams, your goals, or the motion that you put in, the momentum that got you put into the position that you're in. And I get that more than you think, because trust me, there's days I still be like, why am I doing this? Most days I do feel like quitting. I even joke sometimes that I wish I was wired different. The kind of person who's fine clocking in, letting myself brain rot, stay in that cycle, calling it life. But I'm not built like that. And I don't think you are either. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on my podcast. I know that for sure. And here's the truth about that: wanting to quit is normal. Feeling like giving up is normal. But you started for a reason. And if it's too much right now, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with pausing and regrouping and finding a new angle to reach that same goal. That's not quitting. That's strategizing. But don't give up. Yes, we live in a material world. You can't manifest getting the bag. You can't manifest getting money. You can't, whatever you want to call it. And it's something I want you to do, and I want you to stop and think. If you were on your deathbed right now, what do you want to feel? I know personally, I want to feel like I did something, like I tried. Not that I wished, not that I wondered what if, not that I let the fear and exhaustion decide for me. That's the ugly middle. So don't let the ugly middle be the end of your story. You got this. This has been Catching Life Strays. I'll catch y'all next time.